Hi, welcome to week 6 of Intermediate Algebra with Jarmik. If you're sitting here with me doing this assignment this week, then congratulations. This means that, looking through everything you've turned in so far, I thought you were ready for a challenge. So consider yourself lucky that you're getting this opportunity to push yourself in math a little further and prepare yourself for more advanced classes in the future. All right, let's get started. This lesson is called 6.2 Solving Equations with Fractions. So it's really no different than what we've been doing. Again, just adding another layer to your understanding and learning some new skills that can actually be applied to more than just solving equations. So it's a really cool opportunity for you to get to try something new and push yourself to that next level. All right, so in order to understand how to solve equations with fractions in them, the first thing you need to know how to do is do something called a least common multiple or lowest common multiple. Once we know how to find this number, it'll help us eliminate denominators, and then that way we can solve equations more easily. So we're going to try and get rid of fractions using this idea of a lowest common multiple. All right, we can do it. I'll do these 3 examples here. So what is the lowest common multiple of 8 and 12? What we're looking for is the lowest, which is the smallest number, common number that both numbers have in common, that is also a multiple of that number. So we can start with 1. Always can start with 1. 1 and 8 is 8. And then the next number would be 8 times 2, which is 16. And then we're going to keep going a little bit. Next one would be, not 32, 24, skipped 1, and then 32, and so on and so forth. We would keep going for that. But let's try 12 now. So 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. And we can see that 24 is the smallest number. It's the first number that we could see that is a multiple of both 8 and 12. And so our answer to this question is 12. All right, let's keep going. We're going to do another one. So what is the lowest common multiple of 2, 5, and 10? Starting with 2, we do 2 times 1, which is 2. That's always going to be the same as the number you started with. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, 8, 10, 12. And we can keep going if we need to eventually, but we won't need to. So then the next one we can do is 5. So we will say, okay, starting with 5 times 1, we have 5, and then times 10 is 2, and then 15, and then 20. All right, I'm going to stop there because I see that our next number is 10. So you start with 10 times 1, and then 10 times 2. So here I can see that 20 is in both of these, but it has to be in all 3. And also it has to be the smallest number possible. So 10, 10, and 10, that's the smallest number that they all have in common. So our answer for the least common multiple is 10. All right, last example for me, and then you're going to take over. We got 3, 9, and 15. So let's start with 3. 3 times 1 is 3, times 2 is 6, times 3 is 9, times 4 is 12, and then 15, and then I could keep going. And sometimes you might need to keep going for a while and make a really long list before you can find ones that are the same. All right, so then we have 9 times 1 next, 9, 18, 27, and then we could keep going if we wanted to, but I can tell you that if we do 15, right, 15 times 1 is 15, and then 30. Let's see here. Are we seeing any numbers that they have in common yet? It doesn't look like we have anything that all 3 of them have in common yet. We have 15, we have 15, so that's only in 2 of the lists. We have 18 and 18. That's only in two of the lists too. And so we need to keep going to try to find our least common multiple, smallest common multiple. So then after this comes 45 and then 60. Let's see if that helps us with anything else. So the next one would be 36, and then we have 45. All right, and then I'm gonna keep going. I think it's gonna be 45, but let's see. So 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. Oh, I see 36 in two lists, but not in all three. Then we have 39, and then we have 42, and then we have 45. All right, I see that we finally got to a number that all three lists share, and it's 45. So our final answer for this is 45. Okay, you guys go ahead and try 1, 2, 3, and then you can put them into the puzzle piece in Schoology labeled 6.2, and at the end of the whole sheet, and then you'll check your answers. So take a pause here, and then I'll show you how we can use this to solve equations. Okay, hopefully you did. Hopefully you paused and did that. So let's keep going here. So how can we use the idea of least common multiple to get rid of fractions? So in these examples, these are the most simple examples, and so I don't think we don't need to use least common multiple quite yet. These ones, we can see that there is a denominator of 3/4, and we don't want to have to deal with fractions. So what we want to do is we want to eliminate the denominator. And how we're going to do that is we're going to do the opposite of a denominator of 4, which is multiply by 4. So we're going to multiply by 4 on both sides of the equal sign, and it's going to change it from 2x to 8x and from -1 to -4. And then essentially the 4's cancel just like when we're solving, and we have 3x plus 36. And then, you know, it's just solving the equation just like when I sing my song. I'll show you a quick trick on how you can save yourself some time. You can cancel on the left, cancel the x's on the left, on the right, and then you can cancel the numbers on the left all at the same time, and then add top to bottom all at the same time, and we would get 5x equals 40, divide by 5, and we get x equals 8. Kind of cool, right? I think it's it's a neat trick. All right, on this equation, we see that we have two denominators, and we want to get rid of those denominators before we solve. Lucky for us, those two denominators are the same, so it's the same multiplication problem will be used to get rid of that denominator on both sides. You can kind of show the two as canceling out there. So it's 3x, and then instead of 1, we have positive 2. 2 times 1x is 2x, and then these denominators kind of cancel out is a way to think about it. And we have 9. All right, let's try our canceling all at once trick. We're going to do that, and then -2 on both sides. That way we do everything all at once. See, this is why this is the challenge lesson, because not only are we learning about the fractions tricks, but we're also learning about some other little shortcuts that can save us some time. So this is 1x is equal to 7. Remember, add top to bottom. You could divide by 1 on both sides, but remember, anything divided by 1 is just that number back. And also, whenever you have a 1 in front of an x, you could just not write it, and so you could have saved yourself that extra step at the end. Okay, please pause the video and give it a shot. I'll give you a hint on this one. Look for the denominator. There's only one denominator here, and multiply both sides by that denominator. And of course, if you have a naked x, put some clothes on that x, put a 1 in front of it. It'll help you think through it. Okay, so hopefully those were successful for you. We're going to do just 2 more examples and then y'all have some practice. Okay, so this equation here, notice that we have 2 different denominators, and that makes it much more complicated to try to cancel out the denominators or get rid of the fractions. So why did we talk about least common multiples? Because if we look at 6 and 3, the 2 denominators, and we find the least common multiple, which for 3, it's 3 times 1, and then 3 times 2, and then 3 times 3. Then we do the 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3. But we can quickly see that 6 is the least common multiple. And so if we come back over here and we multiply both of these by 6, we are going to see that, well, this denominator, of course, that's going to cancel out. And then negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Over here on the left-hand side, though, the multiplication is a little bit more complicated. And so essentially what we're doing is we're not just canceling out the denominator and then x is alone. If on your calculator you wanted to do 6 divided by 3, you will get 2. And 6 over 3 can be reduced to 2. So one way to think about it is you're doing 6 times 1, then dividing by 3, which gives you 2 whole x's. And now we don't have any denominators left, which is great because we want to double cancel, right? Do our time-saving method here if you're ready for it. Hopefully you are. It's kind of fun to have something that makes you go a little faster and not have to write so much. I know mathematicians are very, very lazy. We really enjoy anything that helps us speed things along, be more efficient. So negative 3x, and then we have negative 24 over here. Divide by negative 3 on both sides. X is equal to positive 8. All right, let's see that again. One more example, and then you got a bunch of cool examples to try. Remember, feel free to reach out to me anytime that you're feeling like you're not sure what to do here, and I'm happy to help. Let's take a look at our denominators here. We got a real doozy. This is going to be a tough one. We have 4 and 12 and 3 and 6. So we've got to make 4 separate lists. But I'll give you a hint. This is not going to take very long to find them. 4, and then times 2 is 8, and then times 3 is 12, and then times 4 is 16. I'm going to stop there. And then 12. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. And then I could keep going, but I'll give you the hint. Probably won't have to go too far into these lists. 3 times 1 is 3. Times 2 is 6. Times 3 is 9. Times 4 is 12. And then finally we have 6 and then 12. Oh, look at that. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. 12 is the least common multiple. So now if we multiply by 12 on both sides of the equal sign, we're going to get to eliminate all of these denominators. Really, really cool. So remember, when you're multiplying a fraction, you multiply the number times the top and then divide by the bottom. So I'll show you here. It'd be 12 times 1, press the equal sign, and then divide by 4. That RES means last result, so it's like what you got last on your calculator. So here we have 3, and then this x is still in the picture, so we write 3x, oops. And then we're going to do the same thing again for the next one. So 12 times 12, right? Or sorry, times 1. That's this number here. And then divide by 12. You could do it all in one step if you wanted to. All right, we're going to do the next one too. So 12 times 1 divided by 3 is 4 x's. And then 12 times 1 divided by 6, and it's a negative, would be 2. And then quickly, we're coming to the end of our answer here. You would just solve that like a normal equation. So sorry to cut you off without the final answer, but I think you guys got this. I'm so proud of you for making it this far in our unit. Go ahead and challenge yourself and reach out if you need any help. Bye!